Good morning, students. I am Dr. Ritika, the faculty of CSC department as an associate professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. So today I am going to deliver the lecture on software engineering. So our topic is software requirement specification. So let's learn about the software SRS, software requirement specification. Now we will start. What why study software engineering? Many projects have failed because they started to develop without adequately determining whether they are building what the customer really wants. So what will be the customer requirement? So typically is the project scenarios on the basis of which we will develop our diagram. We will develop our diagram of software engineering. We will develop how we will generate our software. So in this slide you can see how the customer explained it, how the project leader understand the requirement of the customer, how engineer design, how programmer write their coding part, how the sales executive describe it, and how project is designed, what operations they will follow, what the customer cost, how help desk is useful for feedback, and what is the customerly really approaches. So these, with the help of this diagram, you can see which steps we will use to generate the software or to design a software. So what is the requirement? A requirement is a capability or condition required from the system. It involves determine what is expected by the client from the system, whether we will gather and analyze our customer requirement, document those in a form that is clear to the client as well as the development team members. Means we will go with documentation. Now what are the activities of SAS? RAS? What? Requirement gathering, or you can say SAS you can say, or RAS you can say. Requirement analysis, requirement specification, requirement document. Now this requirement engineering is a process of establishing the services like customer require from a system, constraint under which it operates and developed. The requirements themselves are the descriptions of system services constraints that are generated during the requirement engineering processes. So requirement analysis and specification is requirement gathering, which is fully understand the user requirement. Requirement analysis, which remove inconsistencies, anomalies from the requirement. If any error, if any repetition of the task may be removed in the requirement analysis. Requirement specification means the documentation requirement which we will use in SRS documentation. Now type of requirement, as we have already explained in our previous slides about the requirement analysis and specification. In the slide of requirement analysis and specification we have read about the requirement, but furtherly let revise about the requirement also. First is a functional requirement and non-functional requirement. So we can say two type of requirement is needed. What is a functional requirement and non-functional requirements? Functional requirement of a service is first functional requirement is the statement of services the system should provide, how the system should react to particular inputs, and how the system should behave in particular situation. So May stated what the system should not do is the functional requirement. Non-functional requirement constraints on the services or functions offered by the system, such as timing constraints, constraint on the development process. What are the standards we will use in the non-functional requirements? And often we will apply the system as a whole rather than individual features or services. So functional requirement describe the data to be entered into the system. It also performs some operations by each screens. It describes the workflow performed by the system. It also describes the system reports or other outputs. It can be used to how can enter the data into the system and how the system needs applications are applicable regularly to the requirement of the customer. So function requirement discuss the functionality requirement of the system. The system consider as a performance as a perform a set of high level functions which is denoted by Fi, where each Fi, that is the high level function of the system, can be considered as a transformation of a set of input which is represented by input data I to the corresponding set of their output data. So with the help of this diagram you can say input given by the user, some high level functionality should be done, and we will give the output in the form of O. So the user can get some meaningful piece of work done using high level functions. Now let's take an example of a functional requirement: interface requirements, business requirements, and regulatory requirements. In interface requirement, in first field we will accept numerical data entry. In second field we will accept data before the current date. It will be the screens and prints on screen data to the printer. Business requirements: data must be entered before a request can be approved. Click the approve button, move the request to the approval workflow. All personal use of the system will be trained according to the internal business requirement. Now, next is the regulatory requirement. The database will have a functional audit trail. The system will limit access for authorized users. Spreadsheets can be secure for data with electronic signatures. So let's take an example, another example like library system, where F1 function may what we will use search book function. So what will be the input and author name? What will be the output? Detailed of the author book and the location of this book in the library. Now in the same example of ATM is basically used to withdraw the cash. So RI denoted with withdraw cash. Description: the withdraw cash function determines the type of account that the user has and the account number from which the user wish to withdraw cash. Also, it checks the balance to determine whether the requested amount is available in the account. And if enough balance is available, so it outputs the required cash, otherwise it generates an error message. So ATM cash withdrawal, RI represented by withdrawal cash. In RI, it performs several functions like input, withdraw amount, output, user prompted to enter the account type. In R1 type 2, it will select account type. Their input will be the user options, output will be the prompt to enter amount. In next step, we will get requirement amount, input and output. In input, amount to be returned in the integer value is greater than 100 or less than multiple of 100. But we will be given the output to our ATM machine whether it is more than greater than 100 or less than 100, but it will multiply by the 100. So output: the request, cash and printed transactions statements. So what about the non-functional requirements? Characteristics of the system which cannot be expressed as functions. It contains maintainability, portability, usability, security, safety, reliability, and the performance. Let's take an example. How fast can the system produce result? So it does not overload another system to which it supplies data. It needs to be measurable or verifiable. So or it depends upon the response time. Is the response time is less than 1 second, so 90% of time we will calculate in the give an example of the non-functional requirement. So let's take another example of non-functional requirement. What will be the constant we will use? What hardware to be used? What operating system we will use? What will be the database to be used? What will the capabilities of input output devices, and how standards we will use, and what is the way of data representation by the interface systems. So project management issues, what will be the cost, time and schedule, which is considered as the non-functional requirements. So what will be the external interface requirements? User interface, hardware interface, software interface, communication interface, or file export formats are related to the external interface requirements. Now, what is the importance of non-functional requirement? Non-functional product requirement play an important role for critical systems. Like if system failure causes signifies economic, physical or human damage to organization or a people. There are the three principal types of critical system: business critical system, failure leads to significant and economic damage, which is related to the customer accounting system in a bank. What, what is the next? Mission critical system, which leads to the failure where mission is navigate system for a spacecraft. And third is the safety critical system, where related to the human life, where a control of a nuclear plant. Now, let's take an example. The system service X shall have an ability of 999 out of 1000, or you can say 99%. So, reliability requirement, which means that out of every 1000 requests for the services, 999 must be satisfied. So it work on the 99%. System Y shall process a minimum of 8 transactions per second, which is based on the performance requirement. So the access permission of system data may only be changed by the system data administrator. So all system data must be backup up every 24 hours, and backup copies stored in a secure location, which is not in the same building as the system. So the last point shows our security requirement. Now, this is a little bit explanation about the known functional requirements related to product requirement, organization requirement, and external requirements. Where product related to their usability, efficiency, reliability, portability, and efficiency may further depends upon the performance and spaces. Where organizational requirements, delivered requirement, implementation requirement, standard requirements. Whereas external requirements may further divided into interoperability, ethical, legals, where legals may be privacy requirement or a softy. So it a little bit diagram related to our known functional requirements. So little bit summary about known functional requirement are: what will the functions users need depends on the function performance changes. Users concern, known function requirement. In function, user concern, easy to use, unauthorized, likelihood of failure. In non-functional requirement of user concern is usability, security and reliability. In second is the user need is the performance related to user concern. What will be the resources, what performance verifications, easy to interface. A non-functional requirement related to the user concern in the performance is efficiency, verifiability, interoperability. Now next is a change in the user concern is ease of repair, change, transport, expanding. What will be the capacity, what will be the performance. Where in non-functional requirement it related to the user concern as how much flexible, how much portable, how much maintainable, how much expandable. So measurable merits of non-functional are performance. But what will be the measurement during the property of a performance as processed transaction per second, response time to user input, reliability means rate of occurrence of failure, how much reliable is the system towards the user's concern, how much availability, what will be the size, what will be the usability, how much time it will taken, how much number of errors may be generated by user, and how much robustness means is we is it failure if we restart our system. So how much time it will taken to restart the system after a failure. So let's move about the topic. In above slide it was a little bit description about the requirement and how requirement is classified into two parts, function and non-function. Now next move to the topic of software requirement specification, that is SRS. Let's more about SRS. Now what is SRS? SRS is an officially statement of what the system developer should implement. It is a complete description of the behavior of the system to be developed. It should include both a definition of user requirements and a specification of a system requirement. It is fully described what the software will do, how it will be expand, how it will be expected to the performance of the user or performance of the requirement, performance of the developers. So need of SRS. A good SRS reduce development cost. It require error are expensive to fix later. Requirement changes cost a lot. Good SRS can minimize changes and errors and it substantial savings. We can say during the requirement what will be the saving for multiplied times, which is depends upon the efforts. Let's take an example. For example, if we are designing a software, so during the designing the cost of fixing error is requirement, cost of fixing of error, what will the error requirement, design, coding, acceptance testing, and what will be the operations on the basis of cost of fixing error is 2, 5, 15, 50, 150 per person, which is depends upon the developer and their developer teams. So uses of SRS document. It established the basic for agreement between the customer and the supplier. It provides a basic for estimating cost and scheduling. It provides baseline for validation and verification. It forms the starting point from development. It serves as a basic for enhancement, where it serves as the basic for writing user manuals for software. In user manuals, it describes functionality from the perspective of a user, typically describe how to carry out the required task with example. These are the uses of SRS document. Now SRS document is based on the stakeholders, which is included as customer and users, validation and contracts, customer requirements, developers, programmers to implement the system, testers to check that the requirement have been met, project managers to measure and control the project. Different levels of details and formality is needed for each audience, and different templates for requirement specification we will use in SRS document stakeholders. So what is the purpose of SRS? SRS is defined the software product that will be built and used to know all requirement from the software development and will helpful in designing the software. It also provide feedback to the customer also. So let's move about our next slide is SRS formats. In SRS formats, in introduction, what we will add: purpose, document, product scope, references. In overall description, what we will use what we will include in, what points we will, what scenarios we will use, product descriptions, product functions, user classes and characteristics, operating environments, design and implementation, user documentation, assumptions and dependencies. Now, external interface requirements. What will be the external interface requirements? User interface. What will be the hardware? What will be the software? How we can communicate? Now, next is the system features. What will the system features? It depends upon the requirement of the user. It depends upon the developers. It depends upon the software we will use. And other is the non-functional requirement. What will the performance? What will be the safety? What will be the security? How software quality attributes? Business rules, all are including the non-functional requirements. Other requirements is depends upon the user's requirement. So we have added in the grocery or we have added in the analysis models. Means it depends upon our customer requirement, depends upon the developers. Depends if a requirement is changed, then we will use it in other requirement and follow up all SRS steps once again. So type of readers for requirement specification: system customer, managers, system engineers. In system customers, it specify the requirement. It read them to check that they meet the needs. The customer specifies change to the requirements. In manager, use the requirement document to plan a system, to plan development processes. In system engineers, we use the requirement to understand what the system is to be deployed. So in system test engineer and system maintenance engineer, firstly in system test engineer use requirements to develop validation for the system, and in system maintenance engineer required to understand the system, the relationship between their different parts. So what are the benefits of a SRS? It reduces the development efforts, provide basics for estimating cost and schedules, provide baseline for validation and verification, and serve on the basis of enhancements. Also provide basic agreement between the customer and the suppliers on what the software product is to do. So what are the properties of a good era SRS? Concise, structured, black box view, conceptual integrity, verifiable, and response to undesired events are or all the properties of a good SRS. Now come to the characteristics. As mentioned in the diagram, there are various characteristics like understand by the customer, design independent, then correct, then complete, then consistent, testable, then verifiable, then modifiable, unambiguous. All are the characteristic of a good SRS. So little bit description about the characteristics of good SRS: correct, unambiguous, complete, consist, ranked important, verifiable, should be verifiable, should be fixed, should be finite, should be verified with the help of customer requirement, should be modifiable, should be traceable, how much steps we have cleared, how much work we have done. All are the characteristics of a good SRS. Now some questions are triggered related to the performance characteristics and quality issues. In performance characteristics, the questions are there any speed, throughput, or response time constant on the system? Are there size or capacity constraint on the data to be processed by the system? Now, quality issues: what are the question triggers? What are the requirement for reliability? What is the minimum? What are the maximum time for restarting the system after a failure? And what are the minimum time for restarting the system? He can ask minimum or maximum both time. What is the acceptance system downtime per 24 hours period? And what are the question triggers on the basis of resource and management issues are: how often will the system be backed up, who will be responsible for the backup, who is responsible for system installation, and who will be the responsible for system maintenance. So these are the questions which are triggered in the users, in the development team, in the overall process related to the first step where user gives requirement. The process is done by the software developer, by the team, by the managers, and till we will give the output for the form of our final preparation of the project till the delivered. Before delivered, we will move to the documentation part also. So these are the questions on the basis of resources and management. So students, thank you very much. In our next topic we will cover next topic of unit 1 of software engineering. So thank you so much students, thank you very much, have a nice day. Thank you.